I'm going to show you how to create the perfect product manager resume so you can maximize your chances of getting a call back from the recruiter. What is going on? My name is Alex. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn about product management, startups, and how to get into the top tech companies, make sure to subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Whether you're a seasoned product manager or just starting out, everyone needs a resume to apply for any role. Now, I have interviewed over 800 candidates and I've looked at thousands of resumes, and I can tell you that today, even when applying for top tech companies, most people are getting this very wrong. This is a great opportunity for you to improve and be seen. Today, we'll be covering 5 most impactful changes you can make to your resume to vastly increase your chances of getting contacted by an internal recruiter. I'm also including a free resume template for you down in the description. Make sure to use that if you don't have a resume you're just starting out, or if you want to adapt it to your existing one. See if you can take some of what I have in the template and adapt it to yours, or just start from scratch and bring over the data. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your resume is 1 page long. Don't go beyond 1 page. Unless you have 10 or 15 years experience or more and you have just too much information, you think it's all absolutely relevant, I would strongly encourage you to keep it to 1 page. If anything, you can make the margins smaller, the lines smaller in font, but try to keep it to 1 page. We're going to talk more about what you can do to get rid of the fluff. The idea here is that recruiters only have 5 to 7 seconds to review your resume, and they're really going to be scanning it from the top down, and they're going to catch certain words or phrases that are triggers for them and are what they're looking for to correspond with the position. That means no summary, headline, areas of expertise, skills, objective, anything like that at the top should really be removed. Sometimes people put technical skills or abilities or specialties up at the top. Don't do that. I would say remove it all. Maybe the technical skills can stay, but at the bottom, education can stay, but at the bottom. But other than that, it should just be your name, address, contact number. Your address ideally would be located somewhere in the area where you're trying to get the job. It just makes a little bit more sense if you're applying for Silicon Valley or Seattle or New York tech jobs that you do have a local address. Just makes a little bit more sense. It doesn't mean that you're absolutely out if you're not, but this will improve your chances. The rest of the formatting should go like this. You should have your most recent experience with 4 to 6 bullet points, and each bullet point should have no longer than 1 line, 2 at the most, and only in a few places maximum, which outlines the impact, what you did, what benefit you brought, how you affected the company. We're going to talk more about the content right now, but before we do, I have a question. What do you find the most challenging when writing, creating, or updating your resume? Let me know down in the comments. Now, the content itself. Here we want to focus on impact and we want to focus on metrics. That means that we're going to start ideally every bullet point, every line, with a verb in the past tense. For instance, improved, collaborated, built, released, launched, iterated, etc., etc. I shared some links in the description of sites you can go to actually help you pull those verbs together. What do we want to focus on here? Show the impact of what you did, specifically the actions you took ideally, and the result that happened. The result should be represented in metrics as much as possible, with percentages as much as possible. When I say metrics, I'm talking about revenue, sales, help, support tickets, technical issues, response time, anything like that. Really anything that you can show some sort of benefit to the end user, some sort of benefit to the organization, to the mission. You also want to include any side hustles, businesses, consulting, startups that you founded, or anything else that has to do with product management, and that is the interaction and bringing value to customers. The third important change you want to make to your resume is thinking about how hiring managers and recruiters are actually reviewing these resumes. They're looking for particular trigger points that they think will give them a better chance of being able to fit the product requirements or product description that they have in front of them. The biggest strengths for product managers are the ability to think holistically and strategically, the ability to be able to put structure on things, and therefore the ability to thrive in ambiguity when it doesn't make sense what the right choice is or whether there even is one. Another important skill for product managers is the ability to make trade-offs. Sometimes choice A and choice B look the same from every direction, but you still have to move forward. A third thing is organizing big cross-functional groups without necessarily direct managerial authority. What do hiring managers and recruiters look for in order to see whether the candidates potentially have these skills? Usually they look for some sort of startup experience or experience working in other tech firms. If you have experience working in other tech firms, that's pretty clear. Usually those companies, top tech firms, will use that as a pretty strong signal. But if you don't, ideally you want to demonstrate the impact that you had, that you were able to lead large organizational cross-functional efforts, that you were able to make sense in the face of ambiguity, and that you were able to start a business or lead a business. That's why I stress the importance of having some sort of side hustle, startup, small business experience, or really anything outside of work that you can demonstrate in your resume that will just check that box. Okay, this person is entrepreneurial and has had to deal with the difficulties of launching and organizing companies. The fourth piece here is education. If you have a top-tier university, something you've done within the university, you should put it prominently featured. You should explain what you did there if possible, any extracurricular work you've done. If you're recently out of university, you might include GPA or some other marks of distinction. However, if you've been out of education for a while, you don't need to put years, you certainly don't need to put GPAs. But if it is a top-tier university, you still want to prominently feature, again, to check yet another box for what the recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. Again, they have 5 to 7 seconds that they're reviewing these documents, and as they scan, they're going to check a few of their internal flags. Good education, good company, startup experience, impact. Those are the things that we want to tick. And we want to make sure we remove the fluff so that they can actually fluidly scan down the resume without tripping on some nonsense that we wrote down in there. If you followed the instructions in my other videos, you have gone in through an internal referral, which means you're not just coming in off of a random job posting, and you're almost guaranteed to have your resume viewed by an actual recruiter. That gets you that 5 to 7 seconds. This next tip is about how to optimize those 5 to 7 seconds so you improve the chances of getting a call back. This takes a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra effort, but it may be worth it depending on your situation. Sometimes, depending on the job market, depending on the geographical location of where you're trying to apply, it may just make sense to have one resume and send it to every opportunity. However, if you're trying to customize your resume by changing some of the ordering of the items, or perhaps even focusing attention on some items on the resume that match the job requirements. And you can see the job requirements obviously on any job posting. So a job may call for a particular focus or a particular background. And if you have that background, or even if you have something close to that background, you can put that front and center and make sure you emphasize it, make sure you clearly demonstrate the impact, and then send that version of the resume for that job. Make sure to check out the other videos on this channel that talk about what product management is and how exactly to get the job that you're looking for if that's the role that you'd like to pursue. And if you want to learn more about product management, startups, and how to get into the top tech companies, make sure you hit the round subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.